Well, our moms think we're funny. So this is not the article, but bartender, I'm cutting you off. Only water from now on. Jesus, sarcastically. Oh no.
One day. You seen the Family Guy, Star Wars, Blue Harvest?
Nah. I've seen some clips from it, but not the whole thing.
It's pretty funny. But when he shoots the one guy, and it's the one kind of effeminate guy. He's like, "Hello, everybody." You assume he's gay, because he actually says, "Fuck, how'd I get here?"
As many gay people say. Fuck, how'd I get here?
But he's always talking to. He's like, "I met someone today. Someone at the bookstore, someone who likes the same kind of literature I do." But in the one part in the Family Guy Star Wars, he gets shot and he's like, "Wani!" And the one where Stewie is, this is probably my favorite. The one where Stewie is, kills Lois and in his like kind of dream sequence thing, and he's talking to the guy. I can't think of his partner's name. He's like, "Did you hear that killer baby's on the loose?" "Oh no, I know." Oh shit! All right, where we at?
Hey everybody, it's us.
Yeah. Hey everybody, it's Turk182.
Yep.
So, you ready, Acomi?
Yeah.
Steve?
You're trying so hard to get me to drop my name.
No, I was just
Are
saying.
you ready, Acomi?
No, I was just saying. Are you ready, Acomi?
I'm ready.
Steve? Mick? Andy? All right, fellas.
So, how's it going?
Just taking it day by day, man. That's really all you can do. Sometimes I just sit here and I'm just like, man, I'm just, I'm not gonna stress out and let the world bring me down, man. It's like what we have to do is we just have to find a way to just be happy with ourselves and not let anything get in the way of our happiness. And I think that as long as each of us can find a way to be happy and push out all that negativity that's like, "Hey, don't be happy, man. Focus on being unhappy." No, I don't have time for that. That's more of a time drain for me to try to be like, focus on being unhappy to get my happiness. I'm just going to focus on being happy and then tell unhappiness, "You can kiss my rear end, man."
It's great. So Bob, what the hell are you doing on my couch?
So, just let people know, full disclosure, I'm a little high right now.
Oh, he slept with my mama.
It's like, yeah, but you don't want to ask me questions. You want to ask that guy questions. And that guy, he don't want to answer any questions. Oh.
So how about I ask the questions this time?
Okay.
So, Turk, what are we talking about today?
I got a question for you. Where'd you hide the remote?
That's so good.
That was really good. I love that.
I really want to show other people that.
It's really good. I hope it's a true story because it's so good.
I think it made me more of a fan of Bob Dylan, which is kind of weird.
Right.
It's like there's not even any basis that it's actually real. It's just, I hope it's real, but it's like, if that's the kind of person he really was, I would love it.
Well, if I was him, I think you would have heard of me. But I'm not the only Bob, just like you're not the only Dave. Oh,
right.
It's so good. I could watch that over and over again.
No, it's great. It's really great. I guess for those who aren't in the know listening to this, that was the show Urban Myths?
Yes, Urban Myths.
Urban Myths, and it was the first episode. It was about Bob Dylan going to visit Dave of the Eurythmics.
Dave Stewart.
And he's a song and dance man like me.
And he meets Dave Stewart, which that's not the Dave Stewart that that he was planning on meeting.
Yeah. And it's got Jen from IT Crowd, so that's a definite plus.
Yeah. Even in that, she doesn't look like Jen, but she's still kind of cute.
Yeah.
But I think I like her voice.
She's got a great voice.
You know,
she just has a sweet demeanor on everything she plays.
Does. Yeah, they actually like her. All right, so what are we talking about, man?
So I stumbled across this article online. And we've talked before. I subscribe to some lifestyle articles, just cool little email newsletters that send these like interesting articles from like all around the internet. Elevator's a really good one. Shift is a really good one. They're like from the same parent website. Just stuff like that. Stuff that like, you know, I don't really like look at the news website, so this is the quickest way to find interesting stuff for me. And they had an article that I saw the headline and I did not read, and I was like, I gotta save this for the podcast.
Holy shit!
What did we find? AD Police, wow. Oh shit, it's a prequel to Bubblegum Crisis?
Yeah.
Nice.
I guess if this has the man who bites his tongue, yes! Holy shit!
Damn.
80 Police Files is shit, and dude, the man who bites his tongue is the fucking best, I swear.
That's cool.
So, just, we're way off topic, as we always are.
That's fine, it happens.
But it's an officer whose brain was placed in a cybernetic body struggles to cope with his new existence. The only thing he has is just his brain and his tongue. That's the only thing that's still human. He's in this robot body, so he can't feel anything.
Yeah.
And he bites his tongue to feel pain, to feel some kind of like actual like sensation.
Yeah. Oh,
and it's slowly driving him insane. It's so fucking bad.
Well, it's convenient that this is like from Bubblegum Crisis, because speaking of robots and stuff, that's kind of what this news article was about.
Oh yeah?
Because we've discussed this kind of thing a lot before, but here's the headline. It's from DazedDigital.com. Shock horror. Experts say AI sex robots are a moral threat to society.
God damn you. God damn you!
So
you're such an asshole. Why do you not want me to be happy? I cannot sustain a relationship with a woman because I cannot, fully open myself up. I have a problem, right? And I don't have to worry. I don't have to worry about that with a sex robot, right? Because she can't sit there and. Oh my goodness! It's not even about the sex. It's about the companionship. I can actually get close to someone that won't sit there and talk shit about me or whatever. Be like, oh, that's because of this and blah 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 blah. And now you're trying to ruin everything for me. Why can't I be happy? Why will you not let me be happy?
Like I said, I didn't read the article. I just wanted to see what the experts say.
God damn.
Researchers want to ban sex robot companies from marketing them as replacements for real human relationships. That's exactly what the first headline was. Oh, that's beautiful. This was the text here was written by Gunseli Yalkinkaya.
Yeah, he's not getting laid with a name like that. not gonna work here anymore.
Today, Junior. Okay, so let's just go over some of the text here and discuss as we do. In news that surprises absolutely no one, U.S. researchers have warned that the possibility of AI sex robots poses a serious psychological and moral threat to individuals and society. Okay, boomer. According to researchers, the technology is escaping regulation from agencies because they're too embarrassed to investigate it. Dr. Christine Hedren of Duke University told BBC News that the stakes were high. I hope this isn't some spoof article. I hope this is real.
I hope it is a spoof article. Hope you've been suckered in.
Like I said, I didn't read it. I have no idea about any of this. I just saw it and was like, we gotta talk about this on the podcast.
Oh, when by we you meant, oh, I've got to make Turk rant about this on the podcast.
Well, we've had some pretty interesting discussions about it, so... Speaking at the American Association for the Advancement of Science, she said concerningly, some robots are programmed to protest to create a rape scenario. Some are designed to look like children. One developer of these in Japan is a self-confessed pedophile who says that this device is a prophylactic against him from ever hurting a real child. That is a little bit disturbing.
That's a very disturbing. That's a lot disturbing. That's a little bit disturbing. That's like no. See, I'm not gonna do this with a real kid, but I got a robot kid that will allow me to
it's designed to protest and create a rape scenario.
But,
That's really fucked up.
That is, but But the problem is that your way of thinking is bad. That's bad.
That's really bad.
We should thank you. We should be giving you something that allows you to like act that out in a safe environment. We should be like, no, let's get you some therapy so you can realize that this is bad and not have those thoughts anymore.
Or how about, no, let's cut off your arms and legs with a chainsaw and scald your dick with a hot iron, because that's really fucked up. The word self-confessed pedophile should never exist. It's just, no. When somebody confesses to that, you lock them away.
I'm still saying that, therapy before the arms and legs and scalding thing. At least try therapy.
No. Just scald them.
So if you had the chance if you had something that was wrong with you and you recognized it was wrong with you and you were like, hey, I'd like to get some treatment to like not think this way anymore or not have these kind of feelings or thoughts or whatever. But what if it was like you, one of those people that have that thing where I don't like my arms. I think they need to be removed. That's a serious medical condition where people like, there was like body dysmorphia or whatever, but they're I don't like my leg. There's something wrong with it. It's not my leg. It needs to be removed.
Yeah.
But if you can get them treatment,
and as opposed to like, I want to replace it with cybernetics because that's cool.
Only if... I didn't say I want to take off my perfectly functioning arms and legs and replace them. I'm saying if like my arm got mangled in a thresher, right? Like, okay, go ahead and let's take it off and let's get a cybernetic one. I'm not afraid of getting a cybernetic arm or a leg if that one is not functioning anymore properly. But what I'm saying is, as opposed to this person who's like, I don't think my leg belongs to me, but like, hey, you know what? Let's take that off because I got someone over here that really needs a leg. Like, no, let's give him some therapy. Like, hey, you know what, doc? I'm glad I kept my leg. This is kind of awesome. Well, sure. Let's go with therapy first before we just start like chopping shit off of people.
Well, let's continue to see what the professor of ethics and culture of robots says. So. Kathleen Richardson, a professor of the ethics and culture of robots.
I'm already not liking this podcast.
And AI at De Montfort University in Leicester?
Whatever.
Wants to ban sex robot companies from marketing them as replacements for actual real human relationships, which is apparently a common thing in the industry.
Really?
That's what they say.
Okay, so I thought sex robot was just like, hey, here's a sex robot for you guys that just can't get any because of whatever reason, right? You're awkward with women, or like, hey, here's someone that you can pull out of the closet for when your, when your wife says no, or whatever it is, or like when you're in between relationships. But I don't remember this. I never heard of them saying like, oh, you know what? Why bother with a real person when you can have this sex robot? Because it is, again, the term robot is just so wrong. It's not. It's just a doll, but.
Well, these are talking about specifically the ones with AI, programmed to go through like pre-programmed motions and saying things.
Okay, so I just got to say that that's not AI. AI is artificial intelligence. If you're just pre-programmed to say certain things, that's not AI. That's like a damn Furby.
You don't rape a Furby.
Or no, you don't. I was like, no, you know what? No, I'm just gonna say no.
Jeff created his own sex robot out of a Furby and a fleshlight.
Oh, those damn furries.
Ooh, I love. Examples include Sergey Santos, the creator of one of the world's most famous AI-equipped sex robots, Samantha, who previously told Dazed, "I always say if my wife left me, sexually, I would have enough with the sex doll."
Okay, so he says, if my wife
Serge's
left me...
wife feels great about that.
If my wife left me sexually, I'd be okay with the sex robot.
Yeah.
Like, emotionally, like, he would not be. Intellectually, like, having someone to a companionship, no. But, sexually, yeah. Which, yeah, that would make his wife feel really good. So what you're saying to me is that I just lay there and don't do shit? And you're like, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I think they, and it's weird to be kind of like playing devil's advocate here, so to speak, but I think they are kind of taking what he's saying out of context there, because he did just say sexually. Personally, I don't agree. I don't think that it would be enough for me to just have a robot, but that's just me. But Richardson argues a relationship with a girlfriend is based on intimacy, attachment, and reciprocity. These are things that can't be replicated by machines. Are we going to move into a future where we keep normalizing the idea of women as sex objects? That's a future thing?
Well, okay, so... Yeah, for me, a woman is a sex object. Among all the other things that she is for me, because I'm a heterosexual male, so when I think about sex, I think about sex with a woman. So yes, among everything else, if you want to like lay it all out and like the 100 different things that a woman is to me,
Yeah.
one of those things out of the 100 is also
A
she
sandwich
is a sex
maker, a
object.
house cleaner, a laundry doer.
A companion,
Oh, yeah,
you know,
yeah, a companion.
a caregiver, you know, a trusted friend,
Yeah, I was
emotional
gonna
support.
Yeah, I was gonna say all that shit or whatever.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Yeah, companion and junk.
Yeah, companion and junk. Yeah. Weren't you the guy yesterday when I was like, yeah, spirituality and shit?
I love spirituality and shit.
Yeah. It was like, yeah, you know, like, it was Buddhism. You learn all about spirituality and shit.
Yeah, I love it. Let's see. If someone has a problem with a relationship in their actual lives, you deal with that with other people, not by normalizing the idea that you can have a robot in your life and it can be as good as a person, she added. These companies are saying, you don't have a friendship, you don't have a life partner, don't worry, we can create a robot girlfriend for you.
Okay, so yeah, so you're taking that too far because no one is saying that. Like, again, these are not AI like you would think. So this is not like her, right?
Yeah.
Well, I think her is a good example of an AI relationship without the sex. There's no sex involved in that. It's an AI. You've seen her, right?
No.
Okay, so you know it's the Joaquin Phoenix movie by Spike Jonze. I will say though that there was a different voice they had initially, which was I have to look it up. I forget who the original voice was, but then they changed the voice. Was it like Samantha Morton or something? Anyway, they replaced the voice with Scarlett Johansson, which of course, obviously, if my Siri sounded like Scarlett Johansson and I'm talking to her and she's like, yeah, people just don't understand you. I'm like, oh, you're right, Scarlett, they don't. I mean, that's way too easy for me to fall in love with. That's just like, you know, kind of how I fell in love with Rosario Dawson. Dude, just listen to that Audible book and oh my God. You know, now whenever I hear about her dating anybody, like I'm jealous. But like, you know, the other day I read a thing, and it was like Rosario Dawson, you know, talks about her renewed faith in religion, and she's like, yeah, I've got a really strong relationship with Jesus. I was like, oh, he's a dead man.
Whoa.
I was just like, yeah, automatically I became jealous. I'm like, wait a minute. What am I thinking? And it's like, so, but yeah, that movie is a really good example of someone having a relationship with an artificial intelligence that has nothing to do with sex, and when sex is brought into it, right, the guy is like, no, this doesn't feel right,
Yeah.
because they actually bring a human in. They have a 2.5-some where. He's having sex with a woman, and the AI is there, and she's like kind of saying, "Pretend it's me," and that kind of stuff because she knows that they can't have a physical relationship. And afterwards, he's like, "No, this didn't feel right. It wasn't like I was with you the way I want to." But it's a really good movie.
I don't think that has much to do with it being AI. I think it's just like it's a really bad idea to have sex with anybody and pretend it's someone else.
Well, what I'm saying is the relationship he has with the AI though is strictly a mental relationship, you know, and he's got these emotions for this thing, but she's an artificial intelligence, so she acts and, you know, quote unquote thinks like a person.
Yeah.
And he's having a relationship with this which is not physical at all.
Right.
Which is, you know, half of a real relationship. As where if you have a sex quote unquote robot that's not really has AI, it just has some pre-programmed sayings.
Right.
And you're having, you know, sex with that. You're not having a relationship with it. You're just having sex with it. There's no relationship there. There's no replacing somebody with something else. It's like every time I jack off and have a relationship with my hand, I'm going to leave my wife from my hand. Oh shit, I just found out I got 2. Threesome, baby! I mean, like, no, that's not the same thing. You guys are taking this way out of context.
You know, I'm not even sure. Like, I mean, I haven't looked into sex robots outside of what we've talked about here on the podcast. I'm not sure how the AI in sex robots works, so I'm going to Google that real quick.
Well, you know, just like any kind of AI. So going back to her, where there's a series of questions that this guy answers, and then kind of formulates the companion for him. For any kind of AI, the whole point of artificial intelligence is that this thing has to grow.
Right.
It has to learn you, respond to you, and that sort of thing. Which we're nowhere near that. If we had that kind of like real AI technology, right? The first thing they would do would not be put in a sex robot. We'd have Skynet, and then of course we'd never be around the sex robots because we'd all be dead.
I mean, there's lots of AI bots out there these days.
Yeah, but not ones that are going to really respond to you like a real person would.
Well, that's the problem, is that they're all, like, on a server. They're all online, so they're interacting with, like, thousands of people at a time. It's not a personalized reaction.
If you haven't watched Her, you should, because that's eventually what happens in this one, where the AI starts interacting with other AI online, and they're all growing in their knowledge, and in that growth takes them down a different path.
Yeah. So yeah, it doesn't sound like they actually have what would be real AI, which is like so I mean, they're saying that the actual definition of real sex robot AI would be creating machines that have an intelligent response to sexual input and output, creating pleasure simulacra for humans to experience.
Right. So again, it's just a Furby.
Yeah. So I mean, that's basically it.
And that's not going to replace a person, in a relationship.
Yeah, and I don't even know if they're really marketing it as that. Interesting. But it's weird to me that, like, they touch on all this, like, really disturbing shit, like robots that are programmed with rape scenarios, that are programmed to resist and say no, that are, like, designed to look like kids. They have all these things, and then they're like, but we're going to talk about the moral implications of replacing human relationships.
Right.
It's like, well, I don't give a shit about it if it replaces human relationships, I mean, like, there are people who have married their, like Nintendo DSs and shit, like, for years. I mean, that's nothing new. If somebody wants to completely shut out human interaction, that's their prerogative. I'm more concerned about the fact that there are guys out there who are like, yes, self-confessed pedophile here, hi, how's it going? Frank Diddler, I've just made a little robot child who's programmed to resist and say no, so I can rape it and not, quote, hurt anybody else. I mean, that's the fucked up part to me.
It is fucked up, but again, you're talking about AI. Well, they're talking about AI where, and it's programmed to do this, but not really. Again, it's on a loop, and it's going to just vary like the 12 responses it has. So It's just going to keep saying the same thing. It's not going to, it doesn't move, so it's really the same thing it would be in any like solo scenario, which is it's all my imagination, which is filling in all the missing pieces.
Mm-hmm.
And if so, let's say that you have let's say it's just you and you're doing you, right? You're filling in all the spaces there for this whole fantasy scenario, whatever your fantasy scenario is, okay? But now I add in another element. So let's say that element is a fleshlight. So I'm adding in all of the filling in all the empty spaces, except for one, in which case now I have something that maybe feels a little bit better than my hand. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I never use a fleshlight. Don't plan on it.
Why? They're dishwasher safe.
Well, I'd have to have 2 dishwashers. Right? So I'm filling in all that stuff. Okay, so now I have something that actually has some kind of a human form. So now I don't have to at least imagine a person or imagine this fleshlight as a person. Right? I have a human form, but I'm still filling in all these empty spaces. Well, I haven't really done that much different than what I was doing before, because like the whole fantasy, the majority of the fantasy is all still in my head. Mm-hmm. So now this thing is on a pre-programmed loop or whatever to vary up like what its responses are.
Yeah. I mean, that's the nearest I can figure, having looked at that article. That seems to be all they're doing.
And let's take it away from the disgusting to just a matter of taste. It's
Kevin.
It's a guy, hetero guy, and a doll woman, and she's got 5 responses, like a pull my string. Math is hard, right? So and
me harder, Richard.
Right, and so
you are so sexy, Richard.
I'd like to think that you would tell them what the what you wanted to say and what your name is, and then they would record that.
I like my version better.
You would. That way you have an excuse to be like, no, I don't want to. But
then it does the Windows error sound. Badoom. I'm sorry, I am full.
So, oh, that's nasty. That's so nasty. That's so nasty. Oh, it's only been a week.
Please empty me out so we can continue, Richard.
Maybe they have like one of those like things like like your vacuum cleaner. You just open it, you just pull like the little thing out there.
Just disposable bags.
I mean, that'd be better.
Just disposable cum socks.
God damn it! Why do you? Anyway, getting back to it. So they're saying these things, and eventually, though, there's going to be only so many like variations, and how it's going to say these things, and it's going to say some of the wrong things at the wrong time. So, yes, more, please, right there, right there, right there. Yes, I'm ready for it. I mean, like, wait, whoa. It's just like, but then you're like the more you replace, the more you take away. Mm-hmm. So if I have the robot there, so I'm no longer using my hand, and I'm not having to fully imagine what this person looks like. I am still having to imagine some, but now I've got this thing here in front of me that's not really moving. Mm-hmm. So if I have a real woman, and okay, we're going to switch positions. I move, she moves. Like, okay, I want you to let's get like this, right? I move, she moves. Right. But with a doll, it's like, okay, I move, and now I've got to get her, and I've got to move her legs here, move her legs there. That's like 60 seconds or 2 minutes or whatever while I'm getting her in the right position where I want her in, which now is more like a job,
right?
And
those things are fucking heavy too.
Oh yeah, and
I hear.
I mean, I would if they were supposed to be like a real person, I would imagine it would have like a significant amount of weight to them to make them feel more real. And let's be honest here, most of the guys that are getting one are not like I go to the gym every day and work out. So these dolls have to be able to support at least 250 to 300 pounds at least. Uh-huh. So that being the case, they're not going to be easy to just pick up and throw around.
Yeah, I think they weigh somewhere between 100 to 150 pounds, which isn't like awful, but I mean that's not something you can. I don't want to lift 150 pounds when I'm doing the duty.
Right, so especially so now we go from like a doggy to now I want you on top. That's a lot of work.
Oh shit.
And if I got to stop and move you and then do this and then it's not you can just sit her on top. You've got to position her on top of you, and yeah, that's a lot of damn work.
Yeah.
And that's more work than just me fantasizing. So the more I take away from just me fantasizing and putting into reality, mm-hmm. the more it takes away from everything. So if you've got something like that you're adding to it, you're actually taking more away from it. There's
not going to be guys who get super ripped because they have to lug around these 150-pound sex robots.
Okay, no, see, that's a really good reason as to why that would be beneficial. So part of the reason why I can't, I have a problem, approaching women or dating or whatever is because I don't like my body. I'm kind of a schlubby guy. I get a sex robot where I'm now I'm getting sex all the time. So of course it's not like every other day where I gotta be like, hey, can you come over? Oh, you're working late tonight? Oh, okay, yeah. Well, maybe tomorrow. Hey, I have to wait 2 hours before I take you to dinner and movies, some shit like that. I come home and let's get to it, baby. It's like, shit, you're already ready for me? You dirty thing, you. So I'm getting it every 3-4 times a day. So that's 3 or 4 times a day. I'm lifting 150 pounds. Mm-hmm. Next thing you know, after 3 months, I'm kind of cut. And girls are looking damn, I don't know what he's been doing. So within a 6 month time period, that sex robot is in the closet, and I've got a real woman.
Doesn't really vigorous sex burn 400 or 500 calories?
I don't know.
It's pretty ridiculous.
Dude, if I could burn 400 or 500 calories in 10 seconds, then I'd be having sex all the time.
I don't think they're talking about the 10-second sex, but okay.
Well, then no, it doesn't burn anything. I have not worked off that Twinkie, but she did.
Ew.
Yeah. So
yeah, I never really thought about that angle, but yeah.
Yeah. So it's almost like it's kind of like what they said vaping is supposed to be. Oh, you want to stop smoking? Well, here, try vaping, and then we can slowly wean yourself off, or Nicorette gum or whatever. Yeah. So sex robot could actually be used to help people to get over their physical and sexual inadequacies.
Yeah.
Kind of like the way ecstasy was supposed to do.
Yeah, kind of like the neckbeards who like lost a bunch of weight playing Dance Dance Revolution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clam chowder.
Clam chowder. Yeah, no, I've heard about a couple of guys who lost like 130 pounds playing DDR, which is ridiculous.
Did they ever get laid after that?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, one of them has like a super hot girlfriend, so
What?
it worked for him. So yeah. So
That's my
it's
take.
weird. I mean, we've probably talked shit about the sex robot thing like 3 or 4 times now.
You keep bringing it up all the time.
I know, because it's really funny.
It's really funny to you.
It's hilarious to me. Your reactions are really hilarious.
I'm just
In all that time, I never thought about the fact that it could actually have like health benefits for people as far as just like weightlifting and cardio.
It could. I mean, to be honest, I talk a lot about, I'm going to get a sex robot and blah, 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 blah. But really, again, I'm not. Because, well, one, I don't have that kind of money. By the time I have the kind of money to actually buy a sex robot, I would be, I don't know, in my 80s, wouldn't be able to get it up anymore anyway. And then she wouldn't be a sex robot. She'd be like a sex robot gold digger. Be like, you're only with him because you know he's about to die.
Aren't all sex robots gold diggers?
Well, I know she ain't messing with no broke ninjas.
I mean, they're only there because you paid money for them anyway. So
That's true. But because there's so much other stuff that I need to spend my money on that's more important to me than a sex robot. And but, I mean, what am I going to do? Where am I going to put a sex robot? Because like if you
hang it up in your closet like a dead hooker in between.
Oh yeah, because that's not creepy. I'm really really kind of like this idea of me just taking my my girlfriend off the wall in the middle of the night and throwing her into bed, and it's like, scream all you want. But no, I mean seriously though, like if you're gonna do something like that, then you have to, and somehow in your mind, imagine that this doll is, for however long this is going to be, like something real, for you to do what you're going to do. So if you're doing that, then let's say after the deed is done, do you just take her and hang her back up in the closet? Do you still lay and cuddle with her in bed? Do you wake? I mean, for me, if I was doing something like that, I would probably lay and cuddle with her in bed, because the last thing I want to do is wake up first thing in the morning for a little wake and shake, right? And then I got to get her from the closet again. If she's already right there, I got that early morning boner, be like, up. And it's like,
and the sex robot's like, why do you always have to talk after Richard?
That'd be horrible. I could see someone like a cuckold thing, ordering a sex robot, but then telling them to call it Richard, but his name's Joe, and it's just like, that's it, do me hard, Richard. It's like, but so then you can't, if you're having that kind of a relationship with this thing and you're acting all your fantasies or whatever, you can't just hang her back up in the closet. And you would have to hey, let's act out that little the schoolgirl thing. So let me buy you the right outfit for that, and all that. College schoolgirl, man. Jeez whiz, why do you always have to take everything so low? Anyway, so then you're buying her outfits. Oh, you look good in those lingeries, right? So, that kind of stuff. And you are actually putting more into this than people would think you would be.
Oh, totally.
So then what are you doing? Are you leaving her in bed every day? Or are you putting her on the sofa, standing up at the sink, maybe, and be like, you still doing the damn dishes? I swear, I bet you think you're cheating on me. So I'm like, so you can't be just hanging her up every night.
When I get home, you better be naked and holding my supper.
And before you leave, you stand her up naked in the kitchen, hold a tray with 2 pieces of bread on it.
Pizza pockets. God damn it, pizza pockets again! When are you going to learn how to cook? Yeah, no, I mean, it seems to me like you would just be spending about the same amount of money that you would, on an actual woman.
Yeah. And then, of course, you're going to start getting the thing where you're again, you're filling in these missing pieces of like something you really want, and so then you're going to start acting out scenarios like, oh well, now I'm going to pretend, that we got into a fight, or she went to go visit her mom's for the week, so I'm going to actually like put her in the other room and not talk to her visitor for like a week, and that way, when she comes back home, quote, it's like, oh, the sex is so good because we haven't done it for a week.
Have you seen?
That's where it starts to get really creepy.
Have you seen Lars and the Real Girl?
I have not.
It's a good movie.
I can't watch Lars and the Real Girl. I really can't.
It was a fucking shock to realize that was Ryan Gosling.
And that's why I can't watch it.
Yeah.
Really? I've got to watch Ryan Gosling pretend like I can't get a date? I'm saying, and wait, who is he? Who's his longtime girlfriend? Ava Mendes? Kind of freaking hot Ava Mendes? And I'm supposed to pretend that, oh, I'm Ryan Gosling. I can't get a date.
That's the thing. He doesn't look like Ryan Gosling at all. He's got like this like dorky 70s haircut and this thick, horrible mustache. And like I said, I did not realize it was Ryan Gosling.
Okay. Well, he was in that movie with The Notebook, right?
Was he?
With Rachel McAdams, or
I guess.
That's, or one of those
that Nicholas Sparks thing, right?
Yeah. So
sorry, Turk, I don't watch stuff like that. I'm a man.
Yeah, I remember reading that on the bedroom walls. It said Acomi is a man. I was like, it looks like Acomi's handwriting. So there's this whole thing about apparently how they didn't get along on the set, and they had all these kind of arguments and stuff, and they were fighting back and forth, and the director finally had to like get them both together and like get like a counselor for them to kind of like air all their grievances and shit so they could finish making the movie. And you know what happened after the movie?
No.
They dated for a short time.
Of course.
So wait. Rachel McAdams, very nice looking woman, right? And Ryan Gosling,
yeah,
they are butting heads the whole time to this movie, and then they finally like get some counseling, and then they date. This guy you don't like somehow convinces you to date him because he's kind of like really nice looking, right? And I'm supposed to pretend like watching this movie like, oh man, he's such a poor little schlub. He can't get anything. He's got to fuck this robot. Yeah, right. I can pretend that there's midichlorians that, like, that allows you to, like, have mystical powers and shit, but I cannot pretend that that's possible. that fucking Ryan Gosling can't get a date. Oh, man, my ass.
If you haven't seen him in the movie, I mean, he does not look anything like Ryan Gosling. But, yeah, no, it's funny that you, like, brought up the whole fighting thing, because, yeah, there hits these moments where he'll just get into a big fight with this, like, sex doll. Like, it was supposed to be Scrabble night! So...
And then they make up?
Yeah.
And then, the sex is really good after they make up.
I don't think it's never specifically stated that he has sex with her.
Do they really have to specifically state that? I mean...
The way he is, yeah, he comes across, like, very, very, like, 40-year-old virgin kind of thing.
I'm just saying, I mean... there are guys who are like, I took you out to dinner in a movie, you owe me something. Like, bitch, I brought you to life, you owe me something.
He tips fedora, opens door for her, milady.
And then he has to go back behind her, like, walk her in the door. He like rocks her back and forth so like she's walking. And it's like, oh, you're such a gentleman.
Please take me into my bedroom and ravish me. Why, certainly, milady. That's the kind of scenarios I picture when I hear about sex dolls, is that thing exactly.
Hold on, let me put in my retainer, because sometimes I bite and I don't want to break the skin.
Oh, God.
Hey, I think it's time for an ad.
It is, actually.
Oh. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You can't shake your head like why are we doing this? You did this.
It's just retainers are gross. We're back, folks. So
yeah, but a blowjob retainer would be the shit.
Oh, I don't know.
No teeth scraping. That's the thing.
There is that.
See.
So there's a comedian who I've stumbled across and watched a few of his videos, which apparently he was on America's Got Talent, so if I actually watched TV, I might have stumbled across him sooner.
Doubtful, because America's Got Talent is like the show that really proves that America does not have talent at all.
Yeah. Well, this guy's actually pretty funny. Drew Lynch is his name, and he the big thing was that he speaks with a stutter. but like his bits are still hilarious in spite of that.
Okay, I gotta say that's probably one of the most awesome gimmicks ever.
What's
Is to be a a comedian with a stutter. Because you don't have to write a full set list of jokes. You can just write half of them, but it still takes the same amount of time to tell. Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
dude?
Baby, you just ain't said nothing yet.
Well, like he was like well on his way to becoming an actor, and he got hit in the head with a softball when he was 20, and that's what caused the stutter. So he basically like his acting career just ended right there.
Again, one of those objects that the name is so fucking misleading.
Right?
It's a softball.
Oh, it's funny. He destroyed a heckler on one of his sets because he was up there and he like made reference to his stutter because he doesn't call a ton of attention to it, but
Obviously,
if he's struggling with a joke or something, he'll say, "Hey, I have a stutter in case you couldn't tell," just something as simple as that. But some douchebag just stands up in the crowd and he's like, "Yeah, that's because you suck at softball," and he's like, "Yes, thank you for criticizing me on my skills of playing softball. Probably the most lesbian of sports." He was like, "So, obviously, you're a sports fan, so tell me, what sport do you play, sir?" The guy was like, "I play softball." He's like, "Great! We should get together after the show and scissor later." But yeah, no, he
did
had...
they?
What?
What did they?
No.
No.
He just continued ridiculing the guy until he left. It was pretty great.
I figured you were going to be like, God damn it, Turk, there's just something you should talk about in public. Well, did he come or what?
But yeah, no, he had a bit talking about retainers, and he was talking about how he doesn't wear the retainer when he's up on stage because it gives him a lisp. He was like, and I don't need that. It's like, I'm not up here doing a catch-em-all of speech impediments, so... But he was talking about when he...
Gotta catch 'em all, speech impediments.
But he was talking about how, like, whenever he would pull it out, he was like, it doesn't matter where he is, what's going on. If he pulls out the retainer, then there's somebody who goes, It's like everybody always gags at some point. So.
Cat tooth lisp, I choose you.
Salutation. He was saying he was like on a date and he like took the retainer out and the girl was like, "Hey, you should go to the bathroom to do that." He was like, "You expect me to go into the men's room where everybody has their dick in their hands and take my retainer out of my mouth? That's kind of sending mixed messages." Evening, gentlemen.
So, speaking of which, did I ever tell you about the time that I like my cell phone? I used to have my ringtone used to be Roger from American Dad.
Yeah.
From the one where he talks about his audition for Monsters Ball with the "Make me feel good." You've seen that, right? Yeah. The tearjerker episode.
I think I've seen clips from it. I don't know if I've seen the whole thing all the way through.
Oh my god, that's one of my favorite episodes. So I used to have that as my ringtone was Roger going, "Make me feel good. Make me feel good." So I was going to the movies after work. I had my I had left work, and of course, my phone is on silent at work. So I take it off silent because I'm meeting somebody at the theater. I'm meeting a friend at the theater, and I want to make sure that I heard the phone when it rang or whatever. Well, while I'm waiting on them, I go to the bathroom, and so I'm in there, and my phone's in my back pocket, and I can, as I'm sitting in front of the urinal, hold my dick in my hand, my phone starts ringing, and I can feel it vibrating. And there's someone washing their hands, and the blower is on. And the blower, and I can feel my phone vibrating, right? And of course it's going, "Make me feel good." And in my head, I'm trying to pee, but of course, like now I'm all nervous, so the pee just slowed down, and I can't hold my hand. It was one thing you don't do is you don't, maybe in a women's restroom it's okay, but you don't pull your cell phone out in a men's restroom, right? No. Especially if you're sitting there at the urinal with your dick in one hand and you're pulling your phone out the other. Like, dude, this is not the place to take a dick selfie, right? And I'm just sitting there just hope myself like, oh my god, I hope whoever it is stops calling before that blower turns off, because that's not what I need is in the bathroom. Me standing at the urinal with another guy there and just "Make me feel good." Oh jeez, that was so fucking tense, dude. And that is, honest to God, a true story.
That is fantastic.
It's a horrible true story, but it's a true story.
Oh, that's great. I need to update my ringtone. I've had the old boy ringtone for a long time now.
I don't want to get rid of my Jarvis.
Jarvis is pretty cool.
I've had him for so many years, but I don't want to get rid of him.
Like, I like my text notification, which is just like the Donkey Kong barrel score. Like, when you jump the barrel, it goes... "Boo-doo-doo-doo." So, like, that's my text notification. I like that a lot. But, yeah, just the song is just, like, that old boy's theme. When the gas would pump into the hotel room.
And see, my whole thing is all Jarvis. It was back when the first Iron Man came out. You could download this entire, like, it was actually a whole, like, phone back screensaver, all this whole thing. I just kept just the sound bites from it and just used those for everything. But I wouldn't mind having my text tone be R2D2 or that.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome. And you can get it, but you have to pay for it. And I'm not paying for a freaking text tone.
Yeah.
That's just stupid. But anyway, so going back to what you were saying.
I don't even know where we were going with it, because you mentioned the retainer, and then...
And you were talking about the guy and all that.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, that was it. So, just funny that, like, everybody has this immediate, like, visceral revulsion to a retainer getting taken out.
So I do think it's kind of interesting. Like I said, I really don't have any interest in buying a sex robot because, one, I can't afford it, and two, we've talked about this before, and I'm not trying to discuss anybody, but like we said, eventually they will need to be cleaned.
Oh yeah.
And the easiest way of doing that and not really having to clean it is to wear a condom. But I mean, why don't I want a quote unquote woman that can't get pregnant and then I still wear a condom? Like, what? That doesn't make sense. And I'm not gonna want to do that because I mean the best thing to do would be to clean it after every use. Yep. But again, I mean, like, okay, I just did this thing, like, oh my goodness, I just want to sit here and just bask in the rapture of what I just did. And I don't have to get up and then, like, it's like when you're sitting there laying in bed and you wake up because you know you gotta pee, but you sit there and like for, I don't know, half hour to 45 minutes, you kind of debate whether or not you actually want to get out of bed and go pee because you know as soon as you get up, you're up. Like, now I'm awake. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. Now I'm awake. And so you sit there and you have this really stupid conversation with yourself for 30 or 45 minutes about, do I really want to get up and go pee? Or can I somehow convince myself to go back to sleep and not wet the bed? So if I have to get up and then go clean her, I'm like, oh, well, shit. Now just the whole moment's ruined. I might as well, go downstairs and, like vacuum the, the basement or whatever. Yeah. So, no, that's... Plus, again, I mean, yeah, sex is great. Sex is good. Yeah, not everybody does it, but everybody should. Sex is natural. Sex is fun. Sex is best when it's 5-on-1. But the thing is...
that's too many people to keep up with.
Well, I would think that some of them would kind of help take care of themselves. Until you can get around, like, it's if we're going to put it into, like, Mr. Toad's analogy here, like, not everybody can get on the ride at one time, so you just kind of like, okay, well, while you guys are there, I'm going to go over here to the bumper cars, and then when a slot opens up, we're going to rotate out.
You haven't seen, like, those really awkward, like, threesome and foursome videos where, like, the girls just start getting it on with each other and the guy's just in the back, like, jerking off watching them? It's like, why are you even there at that point?
If there were two girls getting it on in front of me, I wouldn't be like, what, you mean I can't join in? No. There's two girls getting it on in front of me. I'm not going anywhere. You fucking kidding me?
I'm just saying, if I sign on for a threesome and it's just me watching it, it's like, no, I didn't sign on to just watch.
I'm just going to say, okay, this doesn't count as a threesome. I'm not going anywhere. Right? But I'm just going to say that this doesn't count as a threesome. You still owe me one. It's like a 2.5,
2.5. So.
Close but no cigar. But I mean, again, sex is great. Having sex is cool, whether it's, with someone that you love, like, relationship, or if it's just someone you just met or, you call up every once in a while, whatever it is. But if you're going to be in a relationship and if you're going to have, like, a continuing sexual, like, encounter with somebody, there has to be something more to it than just like a wham bam. Even if it's a like a I've got like a friend with benefits. you guys still have some kind of conversation. Not like they come over and another one of you says anything, you just like do it right there, and then they turn around and leave. It's like, no, there's still some kind of a thing. If it's like, hey, how you doing? Can I get you a bottle of water? There's something that's said during either before or after or whatever. It's just not like, okay, let's do this and then now thanks, I'm going home. Well, no, you don't even say thanks. It's like, and then you just go home. It doesn't happen like that. So the whole doll robot thing is like, it's sad. I would say it's sad. Right, it's unfortunate.
Yeah. So, okay.
And if we can, I would like for this to be the last sex robot podcast for this season. If season 3, if we want to do another one, fine. But for season 2, this should be the last sex robot podcast. I do not want to talk about sex robots anymore on the podcast during this season.
That's fair. I'm pretty sure I can contain myself.
Are you sure?
I think so.
Okay, because you've lied to me before.
Yeah.
Yes, you have.
Yes, I have.
Yes, you have.
I don't know. I thought that the article would be something a little bit more than just it's replacing human interactions. Like, okay.
And that thing they said about World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's replacing human interaction. Like, yeah, only if you want it to.
Controversy. World of Warcraft better than sex?
No. No.
I've never played past the tutorial on World of Warcraft.
I've never played World of Warcraft. I have no interest in
I
it.
thought you were going to say I've never played past the tutorial on sex, but okay.
No, I've gotten past the tutorial. It's unfortunate. It's like, because it takes me so long between sexual encounters, I always have to do the tutorial again. And I'm like, wait, what does L1 do? Oh. Where's the damn start button? I'm just poking everything on the girl. Like, oh shit, I came too early. Where's the reset?
Is that the solution to coming too early? Just starting over?
No. Yeah. I mean, the first time you can say, "Oh, I'm just sorry." Today was at work was crazy, and my mind's been all over the place or whatever. After the third time, it's like, look. You work at Dairy Queen. It's not that hard of a job. I'll let you get it past one day because you said like the ice cream machine was broken, whatever. But no. And I'm like, shit. And you didn't bring me any damn ice cream cake. I'm like, I'm sorry. That's the thing.
I love ice cream cake.
You can get so many girls if you work at Dairy Queen, provided that you provide them with ice cream cake. Because you can't give them like a blizzard, because by the time they come over, of course, you can't freeze those things. They have to be like a freshly made. So by ice cream cake, that works. And the thing is, it's not like every girl falls for it. It's just that, oh well, yeah. It's like, no, I'm kind of busy. I'm like, all right, well, if you do decide to come over later or whatever, I got ice cream cake in the freezer. And that's the thing. It's like when a guy like strikes out and then he goes and calls like the girl. It's like when the girl strikes out, she's like, shit. But you know what? Hell, at least I can get some ice cream cake.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
The best ice cream cakes, though, don't come from Dairy Queen.
Where?
They are strawberry Sundae Crunch ice cream cakes.
From where?
I mean, you can get them at pretty much any grocery store.
Oh, those things.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But no, it's just the kind. Dairy Queen doesn't do strawberry Sundae Crunch ice cream cakes.
Ah, gotcha.
But holy shit, those are delicious.
But just don't go to Baskin Robbins.
I don't think I've ever had an ice cream cake from Baskin Robbins.
Oh, it's just that whenever if you're a guy and you don't have a party, you're buying an ice cream cake. They know exactly why you're buying an ice cream cake. Baskin Robbins always finds out.
That's weirdly menacing, and it sounds like based off of personal experience.
I swear. All I need is one more magical totem, and I can bring Charles Schultz back to life. That's a line from Ant-Man.
Oh, yeah.
When he gets fired from Baskin Robbins.
Baskin Robbins always finds out. Dude, I haven't seen Ant-Man in like 4 years.
I haven't either.
Well, not all of us can just like memorize movies as we watch them.
I'm so sorry. You've got a life. And my name's Acomi, and I have a life.
I mean, barely that. I just don't memorize movies.
Well, I'm going to watch this movie called Ooga Booga. Medical student who's brutally murdered by a dirty cop, but his soul is magically transferred into an action figure named Ooga Booga. Thanks. But only his tribal spirit and his old girlfriend help him. So, Ooga Booga is about a magical doll that walks around killing people.
Sweet.
I'm going to watch that.
Never possibly saw that coming. Never heard of it. I mean, that doesn't really bother me. Something like Tourist Trap, that really disturbs me.
Oh.
Every clip I've seen from that is, like, really unsettling.
So I need more than one doll walking around killing people.
Well, it's just, like, the mannequins look freaky as hell. Like, Ooga Booga would creep me out, but, like, it wouldn't super mess with me the way Tourist Trap would.
Yeah. See, you know what? That would be a great horror movie. Someone who has a sex doll, and then it somehow comes to life, like evil spirit or whatever, and it comes to life, and of course it wants to kill him because it's like all the horrible things that it's done to the doll.
Yeah.
And it's like, you did all these horrible things to me.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
See, that'd be awesome. Especially when if the doll comes alive and it's like slowly just fucking with him.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, and of course, in order to kind of tell people that something strange is going on, he has to tell them that he has a sex doll. and then he has to tell them, like, I think that she's been coming to life and, like, doing things, like, okay, so first off, you were just weird. Now you're creepy and weird.
Yep.
See, that...
Okay, Phil, you're projecting now.
That would be awesome.
Typically when you talk about, like, making a movie, I always want to, like, have some part in the creative process, like, whether it's cameraman or, like, acting in it, but something like that, no.
So we can't borrow your doll?
I don't have one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I can't even watch movies with dolls. Hate that shit.
You know what?
Certainly not gonna fuck one.
All this time, I feel so stupid. I never bothered to put it together. That's your thing with the dolls, is that you don't like dolls. It has nothing to do with the fact that you're screwing an inanimate object. It's because you don't like dolls. I can't believe it took me that long to figure it all out.
That long, dude?
Yes!
Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to make, like, sweet lovin's to some freaky-ass doll.
Oh, no. This ain't sweet loving, man. This is some down home, down and dirty, like, just...
I'm not going to be able to clap cheeks with a doll. I don't care what the scenario is.
We're talking like some, like, like, I don't want to know your name, freaky circus sex.
You didn't catch on to this when, like, we were watching that documentary on the guy photographing the porn stars, and he was, like, interviewing the guy who invented the sex doll? And the guy was, like, prying its mouth open and showing the teeth, and I was going, oh my god! That's horrible! You didn't catch on then?
No, I thought you were looking at something on your phone.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's like pretty much 100% due to me not wanting anything to do with dolls. But yes, the moral implications are like far, far worse. This whole rape scenario thing still really bothers me.
That is all kinds of wrong. That whole thing is all kinds of wrong.
Yeah, that really freaked me out.
And here's I guess to bring all that back to a closure is, if you're doing all that, again, the whole fantasizing thing, the fantasy, even though you've got this object there in front of you, the fantasy part is still missing some crucial pieces. So even though the doll is, looping this recording of no, please don't, or whatever, it's not struggling in any way. So you still have to pretend it's struggling.
Mm-hmm.
And so with all that, you're like, okay, this is not, if like in the guy's like, so now I don't really have any kind of urge. It's like, well, it's like when someone eats a non-fat cookie or whatever. And it's like, well, see, now I don't have the urge to eat like a real cookie. Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
You know you do. You can tell people whatever kind of lie you want, right? But the truth is, we know that a non-fat cookie tastes like shit.
Yeah.
And you know what a real cookie tastes like for real people. You know what a real cookie tastes like, and you know that this ain't it.
Yeah. I think what's disturbing about that for me, it's like, yes, there are people who have those fantasies. Yes, that's a huge problem. Yes, I've got a serious issue with people who have those kind of fantasies.
I think everybody does.
But knowing that there's these people who have these fantasies to the extent that they're willing to get like a $4,000 robot with artificial intelligence programming designed to resist and say no and be a child, it's like that's fucked up. That you're going to put that much money into acting out this fantasy.
Now,
God,
that kind of person, I would say. Remember earlier I said therapy. So these people need therapy, whatever. But if you are saying, this is who I am and this is what I like to do or what I, think is fun or whatever, even though I know it's not right, because in their mind, everybody, this guy is like, oh, I know that they're doing the actual thing isn't right, but I still want to do it so much. And it's like, well, no, if you know it's not right, then you know that you need to, have some kind of therapy, something to get you to stop thinking that way. But instead it's like, well, no, I'm still going to go ahead and do this. No, you need to go into a landfill somewhere.
Yeah. It's an issue.
The problem is that if, let's say, I rule the world, those people would still be alive because they'd be like, okay, it's like, we made the hole, and they're like, it's still not deep enough. And that'd be the problem. It'd be like, it's still not deep enough. It's going straight through one end of the earth to the other. It's still not deep enough. But actually, you know what? That would be a great way to get rid of somebody.
Let's drop them into the core of the earth.
Well, if you drilled a hole, right, from one end of the one side of the planet to the other, and you dropped them in, so they would fall until they reach the gravity of the other side, which would pull them in, and then of course they would fall back, and so they just keep kind of bouncing, back and forth from one side of the earth to the other, through the center until they just died.
Yep.
That'd be kind of awesome.
That would be. I think they might have done that gag on Tiny Toons, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. I seem to remember that they fell and then they reversed direction and then they just kind of floated in the core.
Yeah, Steven Spielberg's a weird guy.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug. All right, well, yeah.
I'm so glad that Steven Spielberg does not do cocaine anymore.
Well, I'll do my best not to bring this back up in future episodes this season.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Yeah, but you got to admit your reaction was funny.
You know what, dude? Anyway.
Anyway, so this was an interesting one, but yeah, thanks everybody for giving us a listen.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Put it on hold. Season 3. This last one.
We'll put a pin in it. First episode of Season 3. We'll come back to this.
If you put a pin in it, she'll pop.
Later, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
All right there, folks. That was Our Moms Think We're Funny. Let's give them a hand.